Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Japan pushing back against the West. Japan deciding that they're going to hold on to their IP, that they're going to be a little more, protective, yes, in their stewardship of their IP that definitely reflects their culture. And we're going to talk about this in regards to Ultraman, that they are not going to whore him out to Western companies, to Hollywood.
Don't.
We've seen what has happened with Cowboy Bebop and One Piece. I'm sure is going to be a disaster. The Dragon Ball movie. I mean, countless examples of shitty Hollywood adaptations of Japanese properties. Godzilla was damaged for years because of the 90s movie. And they're saying, no, we've had many offers for Ultraman, but we are in charge.
Good. Our son will be happy to hear it.
And
he's huge Ultraman fan.
Oh, he is.
Huge Ultraman fan.
Ultraman is probably his favorite anything.
Even over Godzilla, which is saying.
Even over Godzilla. And that was actually, it was weird because that was one of the first things that we really watched together when he was little was Ultraman. We got a set of the original series. It was back when Amazon was doing the Pepsi Points thing. And we're like, oh yeah, hey, cool, they got Ultraman, because they were kind of running out of DVDs to redeem. And he was like 2, 3 at the time, and he just watched the hell out of it. He, to this day, is a massive Ultraman fan.
Every collection, Steelbook collections come out, he has it.
Yeah. The one he doesn't really like that much is the English one, the Australian one that they did.
Yeah, he doesn't like that one.
Yeah, so he likes the Japanese Ultraman. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the Love Hina creator, Ken Akamatsu, who is running for office. Now, he was the one that was concerned about outside forces, other countries having a negative impact on manga and anime. I think he was talking more about China, but he is talking about the West too, and the censorship, and that he's afraid Japan or Japanese art is going to lose its flavor if they start kowtowing to
he's correct.
Other countries.
He's correct. I think a lot of us, that's what as somebody who is an anime and manga fan, I think that's the problem. There is a reason why anime is popular and has been popular for years. There's a reason why manga is kicking Western comics ass. There's a reason, because people want those stories. They want that take. They want that cultural perspective. They don't want the West to come over and put a personal rinse and piss all over it and ruin it. That's not what people want.
No. And, it's interesting because the West is using the globalization of anime and manga now to try to insert its own politics into it. And we're seeing, pushback. China, I mean, for all the complaints we have about China with the CCP, they're basically like, yeah, we're kind of done with Western entertainment now because you guys keep putting this stuff in it and we're not into it here. Sorry.
Yeah,
goodbye.
whether you agree with it or don't agree with it. This is not about that. It's about the fact that as a country and what they believe, we don't have the right to tell them any more than they have the right to tell us what we can and can't believe.
Yeah, just don't watch it.
Yeah, same with Japan. It's like they keep making these changes to things because, we over here, our sensibilities don't allow it, and we're going to tell them what to change. It's like, but you shouldn't tell them what their culture, for all your about acceptance and, diversity and inclusion, you sure as hell want to make them change their stuff to fit your thoughts and opinions. That kind of flies in the face of what you claim you're about.
Yep. So let's talk about all this, Japan pushing back, before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Almost 249,000 subs. Please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're still subscribed. Ring the bell for notifications. I don't know if it does any freaking good, but we're hoping to get to 250 by the end of the year. We'll see how close we can get.
Yeah, we're trying.
Anyway, so let's go out to Ultraman first. And this article is coming from Bounding in the Comics. I can put a link in the comments section, but the Tsuburya Productions CEO. This is a long headline. Basically, they've decided that they're going to hold the reins to Ultraman. They're not going to let the West dictate the future of Ultraman.
They're not going to let them change it.
They're not going to, because they could do, I could totally see them doing a Hollywood version of Ultraman, and it would be like George Clooney as Ultraman.
Yeah,
or some
it would be something
bullshit
stupid.
like that.
I don't think they would do George Clooney, but it'd be something stupid, and they would make changes they don't agree with for some reason. No, it wouldn't. It would be some probably not white female lesbian would be Ultraman.
Finally, Wanda Sykes is Ultraman.
Pretty much.
So everybody
everybody
has wanted all these years.
And, because we have to be, inclusive and diverse. you know, and over there, they're not going to just kowtow to it because you don't like it over here. And Hollywood's screaming about it.
Or they would have like Ultraman, but he would have his whole support system of diverse friends that become Ultra persons.
Oh, yes. Their friendship that makes them all powerful and they all become superheroes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can't have just one person be super. That's not fair.
And then they would combine like Voltron because, you know, all this Japanese stuff is the same to Hollywood.
Okay, I'm sorry. That mental image.
So then we'd have a giant Ultraman with like little Ultraman heads for hands. And like little Ultraman heads for feet.
I was thinking, and then swimming for the penis.
And I'll form the dick.
That'll be the one male.
Ultraman team go. No, Ultra people go.
Yeah, it'd be something like that. And they're like, hell no. So yeah, they're standing up.
Cue the Fallout Boy soundtrack.
Yeah,
you know,
pretty
much. Fallout Boy will re-record the Ultraman theme song.
No, like, why isn't this popular? We don't understand.
Yeah, so this is interesting. He made these comments, I guess, a couple of days ago during a meeting of like what the future holds for their company. And he moved on to explain his production philosophy toward expanding Ultraman's presence on a global scale. And look, they're already doing, you know, Marvel comics and stuff like that. And I was kind of concerned. I'm like, ah, shit.
No, they make sure they remain in charge.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh no, they're going to bring Ultraman to the MCU. That's going to be.
Well, they brought Spider-Man to Japan before, so
they did.
That show's glorious.
And he got his own giant robot.
Because you know that would be the way to go.
Powers of hell. Oh, see, that was a missed opportunity. No Way Home. They needed to bring Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh my God, they should have.
They should. That would have been amazing. Like all of a sudden they're like, oh no, Doc Ock and Green Goblin are gonna kill us all.
If you haven't seen it, you need to go out and watch it. It is so gloriously interesting.
It's gloriously interesting. Well, I believe it led to the creation of the Super Sentai, which became Power Rangers. Because that whole concept of like, you know, him having a mech and the whole that wound up being its own thing.
It's
anyway,
something you gotta watch.
Oh, it's batshit crazy.
It's just a glorious
freaking
mess.
love it.
So go watch it if you haven't seen it. But
they have to get Japanese Spider-Man in there at some point.
That would have been beautiful. Anyway,
they're talking about expanding Ultraman into Western markets. I guess they're making an Ultraman movie now, but it's the same people who did Shin Ultraman.
But Squid really excited about that one. He's very excited about that.
I've been thinking about the content of films, whether it's an action blockbuster about heroes or a general drama. It's based on personal conflict and growth. On the other hand, Japanese and Asian films have different ideas and concepts. One of them is the way we relate to nature, community, and society. In other words, the idea of coexistence. Oh my God, manga's always been political. You just didn't know it.
Right.
You dummies. You stupid people. Like, have you ever watched a Ghibli movie? Like, literally every Ghibli movie.
Oh, that was one of the ones his go-to was about.
Yeah, but it's very true across the board. I mean, Akira. I mean, come on. We Japanese are a country blessed with nature, surrounded by sea and mountains, and we have grown up working together in the environment. This is the message that characterizes
One thing I like about the Japanese shows, too, is at least about society, is the way that they think about things. Like, you aren't just handed a mantle because you're you, or because you're the right gender, or the right sexual orientation. It's because you're handed it because you earned it. It doesn't matter who you are. You earned it.
Everybody can be Ultra people.
Yeah.
Actually, I was looking at the Netflix version. I'm like, oh my God, it's the Ultra people. The Ultra people, guys. Anyway.
Oh my God, I hope not. This cookie's not going to like that.
Recognizing there are a number of cultural standards in the West, especially in Hollywood. This is Sukagashi told the interviewer that rather than change Ultraman in an attempt to garner more mass appeal, he believed there was a chance for our unique works to be accepted around the world, even in the form of collaboration with Hollywood. CEO then adamantly declared, from a Western perspective, most of the world's popular Japanese characters are already being made into films by Hollywood and other global media groups. However, Ultraman is not one of them. And that's not because they haven't asked.
Well, this is coming to Netflix and it's Ultra People.
It's Ultra People. Well, no, this is the CGI show, which they still have the reins on.
Okay,
I don't care for it. I don't care for it that much, but
I know Spooky doesn't like the CGI show.
No. I don't like the Godzilla either. I thought it was pretty lame. Ultraman may be the last big IP left in Japan. We have received many offers from overseas companies, but if we do the same thing in Hollywood, when we go out into the world, Ultraman will be buried among the many hero characters. In order to compete on the world stage, we need to make use of Japan's identity and Japaneseness. I don't think that's what he actually said. As a strong point in our stories. This is the way I want to present the Ultraman brand. This will lead to the creation of powerful works on a different level.
I agree with that.
So he's like, I want to send out new value-added works that are not in the Hollywood standard, but have our unique genes from Japan to Asia and to the world.
Because that's what the world actually wants. That's just it. Like, Hollywood's trying to convince everybody that the West wants only their version. That's not true. If that were true, then manga wouldn't be kicking Western comics' ass. If that were true, then anime wouldn't have been so popular as it's been since the 90s over here, and it's getting more and more popular all the time. If that were true, then the Hollywood studios wouldn't be trying so hard to get in. Because they don't want that. People want to hear what they have to say. They want to see their take, their unique Japaneseness. And Hollywood keeps trying to bastardize it.
Yeah, can you imagine Akira by Taika Waititi?
Like, oh yeah, you were like, oh my God, no.
I was like, he is literally the last person on Earth I would put in charge of Akira. It'd be freaking slapstick humor and sex jokes. And yeah, so what these Japanese companies need to do is they need to say, yes, we understand our stuff is popular. Yeah, we get it, Netflix, that you want to adapt our stuff. But by God, we're going to watch every damn thing.
Yeah, and we're going to stay true to us and to our values and not change it just to accommodate you, which is what they should do. 100% back them up on this.
Yeah, so maybe Cowboy Bebop would have been a little bit different if Japan held the reins a little bit tighter.
Well, if Japan was, honestly, it wasn't that, I don't think it was that popular in Japan.
No, it wasn't. Not
they wouldn't have probably...
Been like, of all the stuff to adapt, like, why'd you pick that one?
Yeah, because they're basically like, it's our voice, it's our characters, it's our culture, and we want to protect that. And I think we have a better chance of getting a unique product out there if we do. Agreed.
Well, remember Saban Moon? That was an aborted, where they were gonna reanimate
awful.
Sailor Moon, and that's basically when everything is Saban Moon, nothing is.
It's horrible.
It's all awful stuff. But yeah, this is interesting. This is the creator of Love Hina, and we've talked about him before because he was highly concerned about Western influence and censorship.
As he should be.
On manga and anime. But, this is interesting that he's talking about some of what's going on in Hollywood. He said it may look like an excessive reaction when looking at things from Japan, but foreign countries have their own particular issues, so I'll refrain from simplistic criticism and instead observe the situation for a while. However, I will say that the move to select actors on their race rather than their individual talents appears to go against the path that humanity has walked throughout history. In Japan, a voice actor of an animated work wouldn't change because of race. But for a foreign language dub, I leave those matters to the discretion of the dubbing company. So he's throwing them under the bus.
Yeah, but he's basically like, it's stupid that people are, like the West is pushing that you have to be a certain type of person, look a certain way to voice act, and not necessarily the best person for the job.
Yeah. This is interesting. Finally, he commented on the claim that anime characters are modeled on white people. It's talking about Sailor Moon. Japanese creators such as myself are not thinking of our characters as white people when we draw them.
There you go, Sailor Moon.
She may have blonde hair, but that's simply a manga-like expression. In her previous life, she was a person from the moon world. It may be possible that fantasy worlds such as this may become subject of criticism. Dark elves and other fantasy races may also come under fire. I foresee various issues coming into debate.
He's flat out calling it out. Up here, too, I saw this. I am very curious about the current movement overseas to erase and remove past works.
Yeah.
He's like, manga has quite a few discriminatory expressions, but it's standard in Japan to leave an explanatory note about that while preserving the work. So basically, like your disclaimer of the past. As works that feature discriminatory expressions undergo more and more regulation, it may become impossible to see those old works. However, when it comes to the works that will be created in the present and future, I see absolutely no problem in creators such as myself individually applying our own discretion and consideration while having our freedom of expression protected. I hope that both sides can maintain a good balance. So he's like calling out the West for erasing everything, for changing everything, for not, putting it into context and getting rid of the history. He's calling them out for blaming them, saying that their characters are white when they're not. He's, and then brought up about the dark elves.
Yeah, because he's watching all this and he's like,
dude.
What a shit show. So he's running for office. And I think that we need more people like him, stepping in and protecting Japanese pop culture from Hollywood, because Hollywood can't even get its own shit together. Right. And even then, it's like, what are these countries thinking about, Western culture when they look at what Hollywood produces? And you have to realize that is statistically like 5% of people agree with like what is going on right now and the push going on in Hollywood. Most of America even is like, what the hell are you doing? But you know,
you don't get to tell other countries.
No.
You don't get to tell other countries what their ideals should be, what their society should be like, what they should focus on. They can regulate their own damn selves. They don't need you to do it for them. And I'm so tired of these, you know, extremists, like, I mean, the military outfits and everything else. Because, yeah, World War II was a big thing with Japan, and maybe they have some reasons why they do the things they do over there. But that's their choice, their culture. Don't watch it then.
It's problematic. It needs to change for me. I mean, how privileged are you?
Right.
How privileged are you, 20-something-year-old white girl from Portland or the Bronx or wherever, to go on to Twitter and demand that Japanese people change their culture to make you happy?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, seriously, you know, check your privilege.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Check your
privilege. You can literally
privilege.
say that, yes.
Karen. All right, so we got to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Very interesting to see. I think we're going to see a lot more of this because it's getting ridiculous.
Because I want to see what things were originally intended as, because that's what's been popular with people.
All right, guys, so we're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.